He was seconds away from leaving the building when he overheard a phone call he was never meant to hear. What the CEO did next didn't just change one life. It changed an entire company. He wasn't supposed to hear it. The building was nearly empty. The elevators were shutting down for the night. Another long day was over, or so he thought. But one quiet phone call, one broken whisper in the dark, would force him to confront a truth he'd been avoiding his entire life. A truth about kindness, about responsibility, and about how walking away is sometimes the most expensive choice of all. Stay with me, because what happens next is not what you expect. The office tower stood like a monument against the night sky, glass walls reflecting the city's glow, floors of ambition stacked one on top of another. At the very top of it all was Marcus Hale, CEO, visionary, the kind of man whose signature alone could move millions. As the last meeting ended, Marcus loosened his tie and stared out at the city below. The numbers were strong, the forecasts optimistic, yet something felt empty. He turned off the lights and stepped into the hallway. Down below, in the quiet lobby, someone else was still working. Marcus Hale's name carried weight. His days were filled with decisions that shaped markets. People waited for his approval, applauded his presence, but success had a price. Every night, he returned to a penthouse apartment that echoed with silence. No laughter, no questions about his day, no one waiting. Dinner was usually cold by the time he remembered to eat. He told himself this was the cost of greatness. That loneliness was temporary. That fulfillment would come later. It always came later. At the base of the same building stood Eli Thompson. Security badge clipped neatly. Uniform pressed clean. 12-hour night shifts. 6 nights a week. Eli didn't complain. He couldn't afford to. Every step he took around that lobby was measured. Every camera feed watched closely. Not because anyone noticed, but because he took pride in doing things right. To most employees, he was just security. A nod. A brief thank you. Then forgotten. But behind that uniform was a man holding his life together by discipline and silence. Marcus ended meetings discussing acquisitions and expansion. Eli ended shifts calculating whether overtime would cover hospital bills. Marcus worried about public perception. Eli worried about tomorrow. Marcus had choices. Eli had responsibilities. And yet, neither man felt truly at peace. That night, Marcus descended toward the lobby, phone in hand, distracted. Then he heard it. A voice, low, careful. "I'll figure it out," the voice said. "I promise." Marcus slowed. I know it's hard," the voice continued. A pause. "No, don't tell her yet. She doesn't need that worry." Marcus stopped walking. Eli stood near the security desk, phone pressed tightly to his ear. His shoulders were stiff. His free hand clenched into a fist. "I'll pick up another shift," Eli whispered. "We'll be okay. I just need time." The call ended. Silence returned. But something had shifted. Marcus stood frozen. He hadn't meant to listen. Hadn't planned to hear anything. Yet the words lingered. Not desperation. Responsibility. Not panic. Control. Marcus saw something he recognized. Strength under pressure. A man refusing to collapse, even when no one was watching. And suddenly, memories surfaced. His father. Working nights. Always saying, "We're fine," even when they weren't. Marcus swallowed hard. For the first time in years, something inside him cracked open. He could have walked away. No one would blame him. No one would ever know. It wasn't his burden. It wasn't his role. Yet as Marcus stepped into the elevator, one thought followed him upward. How many people suffer quietly while others look away? Before we continue, I want to pause for just a moment. Stories like this don't come together easily. They're crafted carefully to remind us of something we often forget. That kindness still exists, even in quiet places. If stories of compassion, humanity, and unexpected connection move you, please subscribe and turn on notifications. It helps these stories reach people who may need them most. Now, let's see what happens next. Have you ever overheard something that completely changed the way you saw someone? Share your story in the comments. I read everyone. Marcus Hale did not sleep well. The city lights outside his bedroom flickered like restless thoughts, and for the first time in years, numbers refused to quiet his mind. It wasn't the markets. It wasn't the board. It was a voice. "I'll figure it out. I promise." That sentence echoed louder than any quarterly report ever had. By morning, Marcus told himself it was nothing. A moment. A coincidence. But moments like that don't fade when they're meant to change you. The next morning began like most others. Marcus arrived early, stepping out of a black sedan into a building that carried his name in whispers. Assistants greeted him. Schedules were handed over. Coffee appeared without being asked for. Yet his eyes drifted, without intention, toward the lobby. Meanwhile, Eli finished his shift just as the sun crept through the glass doors. His legs ached. His eyes burned. But he straightened his uniform anyway, because someone might be watching, even if no one ever was. He signed out quietly and headed for the bus stop, pulling out his phone to check for missed messages. There were none, and strangely, he felt relieved. It took Marcus 3 days to act. 3 days of hesitation. 3 days of internal debate. On the fourth night, Marcus stayed late again. This time, intentionally. As he descended into the lobby, he slowed his pace, not out of distraction, but decision. Eli looked up from the security monitor. Their eyes met for half a second. Marcus nodded. Eli nodded back. Then Marcus did something unusual. He stopped. "Long night?" Marcus asked casually. Eli hesitated, unsure who he was speaking to. He didn't recognize the face, only the tailored suit. "Yes, sir," Eli replied. "Just part of the job." Marcus smiled faintly. "I imagine." That was it. No questions. No probing. Just presence. And yet, something about the exchange lingered. The next evening, Marcus returned. This time, he carried 2 coffees. He placed one gently on the security desk. "I ordered too much," Marcus said. "Hate to waste it." Eli looked at the cup, then back up. "Thank you, sir," he said quietly. "That's kind. Kind." The word landed heavier than Marcus expected. They stood there for a moment, 2 men from opposite ends of the same building, sharing silence instead of status. Marcus noticed something then. Eli wasn't distracted. He wasn't careless. Every screen was monitored. Every entry logged. Discipline. Focus. Pride. "Night shifts can be rough," Marcus said. Eli nodded. "They are. But they teach you a lot." "Like what?" Marcus asked. Eli thought for a moment. "Patience," he said. "And how to listen." Marcus almost laughed. He hadn't listened properly in years. Over the next week, these moments repeated. Brief conversations. Shared coffee. No titles exchanged. Marcus learned Eli had been with the company for nearly 4 years. Never late. Never written up. Never promoted. Eli learned Marcus worked upstairs. Very far upstairs. Still, he never asked questions. And that restraint spoke volumes. One night, Marcus noticed Eli rubbing his wrist. "Everything okay?" Marcus asked. Eli smiled politely. "Just fatigue." Marcus nodded, but he didn't let it go. The next morning, Marcus quietly approved a request. Nothing dramatic. Just updated ergonomic equipment at the security desk. Better chair. Better monitor placement. When Eli arrived that night, he froze. "No one told me," Eli said. Marcus shrugged. Felt overdue. Eli swallowed hard. It wasn't the equipment. It was being seen. Eli didn't gush. Didn't overreact. He simply said, "Thank you." And in that moment, Marcus realized something important. Eli wasn't looking for charity. He was looking for fairness. Later that night, during a lull, Eli spoke again. "My sister," he said suddenly. Marcus turned. "She's sick," Eli continued. "I don't usually talk about it." Marcus didn't interrupt. Didn't advise. He listened. "For now, I just keep working," Eli finished. "It's what I can do." Marcus nodded slowly. He understood now. This wasn't about money. It was about responsibility. That night, Marcus didn't go straight home. He sat in his car longer than usual. Because for the first time in years, he felt connected. Not through power, but humanity. He hadn't fixed anything. But he hadn't walked away either. And that mattered. What would you do if you discovered someone with quiet strength, carrying more than they ever show? Would you step in or step back? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I read every one. The conversations became part of the night. Not scheduled, not expected, but welcomed. Marcus found himself timing his late evenings, not for deadlines, but for the quiet stretch when the building slept and honesty surfaced. Eli never asked why Marcus stayed late so often. Marcus never explained. They spoke about small things at first. Weather, commutes, how empty buildings sounded alive at night. Then slowly, deeper things emerged. One evening, Eli brought a worn notebook. He placed it beside the security log, hesitant. "I write sometimes," he said. "Helps me think." Marcus raised an eyebrow. "About what?" Eli shrugged. "Systems, procedures, ways things could work better." Marcus flipped through a few pages. Neat handwriting, diagrams, efficiency plans for emergency response, visitor flow, blind spots. This wasn't casual note-taking. This was insight. "You ever share these?" Marcus asked. Eli shook his head. No one asked. That sentence stayed with Marcus long after he left. The following week, Marcus arranged something subtle. Eli was invited to sit in on a late-night security planning review. No announcements, no spotlight, just observation. At first, Eli stayed quiet. Then someone asked a question, and Eli answered. Clearly, confidently. The room shifted. People noticed. Marcus noticed most of all. After that night, Eli walked differently. Still humble, still careful, but lighter. He told his sister about the meeting. "Don't get excited," he warned her. "It might mean nothing." She smiled anyway. "Sometimes," she said softly, "nothing turns into something." Not everyone approved. Whispers began. Why was a security guard suddenly in meetings? Why was he getting attention? A supervisor pulled Eli aside. "Be careful," he warned. "People don't like it when lines blur." Eli nodded, anxiety tightening his chest. That night, he almost avoided Marcus. Almost. 2 weeks later, Marcus received an email. Compliance concerns. Policy violations. Favoritism allegations. Nothing proven, but enough to raise eyebrows. The board wanted answers. Marcus stared at the screen. This was the cost. Helping quietly was one thing. Defending it publicly was another. That evening, Eli spoke first. "I don't want to cause trouble," he said carefully. Marcus looked up. "If this creates problems," Eli continued, "I can step back." Marcus saw it then. Fear, not for himself. For Marcus. For the opportunity. For his sister. This wasn't ingratitude. This was dignity. Marcus leaned back. "Eli," he said slowly, "do you know why most people never change their circumstances?" Eli shook his head. "Because the moment it gets uncomfortable, they stop." Marcus met his eyes. "I'm not stopping." The board meeting was tense. Questions came sharp. Why him? Why now? Why outside protocol? Marcus answered calmly. "He earned it," he said, and the system failed to see him. Silence followed. This wasn't just about Eli anymore. It was about culture. The board didn't like being challenged. They approved a review. All programs paused, including Eli's training. Eli found out the next day. He stood at his post, face steady, hands clenched. Marcus watched from a distance. This was the hardest part. That night, Eli called his sister. "They put everything on hold," he said. She was quiet. "Did you do something wrong?" she asked. "No," Eli replied. "But doing nothing wrong doesn't always protect you." Marcus approached later. "I won't pretend this is easy," Marcus said. "But I promise you something." Eli looked up. "I don't help halfway." And for the first time, Eli believed him. Have you ever faced resistance for doing the right thing? What kept you going? Or what made you stop? Share your story below. The pause wasn't temporary. Weeks passed. No updates. No emails. No meetings. Eli continued working nights, the way he always had. Alert, reliable, invisible. But something inside him had shifted. He knew what he was capable of now, and that knowledge made returning to silence harder than before. Marcus stopped waiting. He didn't send memos. He didn't argue policy. He did something far more disruptive. He showed up, not a CEO, as a human being. He spent time with departments no executive visited, asked questions no one expected, listened without interrupting. Patterns emerged. Overlooked talent. Rigid pathways. People stuck not because they lacked ability, but because no one noticed them. Marcus drafted a proposal, not for Eli alone, for everyone like him. An internal mobility initiative. Anonymous skill evaluations. Mentorship pairing. Paid upskilling, regardless of title. The board resisted. This wasn't tradition. This wasn't efficient. Marcus held his ground. Efficiency that ignores people, he said, costs more in the long run. Eli received another meeting request, this time with HR and 2 department heads. No Marcus. His stomach tightened. But when the conversation started, something felt different. They referenced his ideas, quoted his notes, asked his opinions. This wasn't charity. This was recognition. The program was approved on a pilot basis. Eli was reinstated, promoted, paid fairly, with benefits, with dignity. When Marcus told him, Eli didn't speak. He stood up, extended his hand, then stopped, and hugged him. Not tightly, not desperately, but gratefully. Word spread, not about Eli, about opportunity. People started believing again. Other employees stepped forward, shared ideas, spoke up, and for the first time, the building felt alive, even during the day. Months later, Eli stood at the front of a training room. New recruits listened, some nervous, some unsure. Eli smiled. I used to stand where you are, he said, thinking no one saw me. Marcus watched from the back, unnoticed. Content. Eli moved apartments. His sister started school without fear of tuition letters. But the biggest change? Eli began noticing others. The quiet ones. The overlooked ones. Because kindness taught him how. Late night. Same lobby. Same elevator. A new security guard on the phone. Worried. Whispering. Eli slowed his steps and chose not to walk away. This story shows how one act of kindness can change everything. What's one way you could make a difference in someone's life this week? Share your commitment in the comments. A year passed. Not loudly, not dramatically, but steadily. Eli Thompson no longer worked nights. He led them, not as a supervisor barking orders, but as someone who understood what it meant to be unseen. He remembered names, asked questions, noticed effort, the same way someone once noticed him. The internal program expanded. Janitors became technicians. Receptionists moved into operations. Security staff transitioned into analytics and logistics. The building didn't change. The people did. Turnover dropped. Morale rose. And for the first time, the company was known not just for profits, but for people. Marcus still worked late, but the silence no longer followed him home. He stayed connected, grounded, present. Success finally felt complete, not because of numbers, but because he remembered why he started building in the first place. One evening, Marcus received an email. No subject line, just words. You didn't save me. You saw me. And that made all the difference. Marcus closed his laptop and smiled. Kindness doesn't always look heroic. Sometimes it looks like listening, like waiting, like choosing not to walk away. And often, it changes more than one life. Stories like this remind us that extraordinary kindness exists all around us. If this story touched your heart, please like this video. It helps more people discover these moments. Subscribe for more real-life stories that restore faith in humanity. And most importantly, look around you. Who's standing quietly, hoping someone will notice? What act of kindness will you choose this week? Tell me in the comments. Thank you for watching. And remember, you have the power to change someone's entire world.